Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, hello,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah. You might need to talk a little louder than that.
Hello.
That might be the clip. That might be the clip of the episode. Keep talking.
Hi.
Ta-
Hi.
You're gonna be on a
I don't know.
podcast.
Well, you're not asking me anything. You're just telling me to talk.
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. And if you say anything that you don't want included
Oh yeah.
for whatever reason,
This
we
might
can
be the one you have to edit the most.
we can always leave it out.
Okay.
There's nothing to we could if something happens, we can take a break and resume, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Um
Don't fuck up the intro like you always do.
all right, that's how we're gonna start. As you can see here, I'm here with Faith Slobinik.
Yep.
My younger sister, teacher, bride,
Not bride. Wife.
wife, smart ass.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get to the intro. This is A Moment with Jay.
I just wanted to hop on the mic and say, I know the world been a little chaotic and everything. I just wanted to check and make sure everything good in the hood, like sure, you know what I mean? Say hi to the fam. Okay, let's get to work. What up? So what you lost your
All right, I think I did the intro all right this time.
Yeah. Finally, it's me. I'm the good vibe.
So first off, before we get started, I gotta explain that I went to go get us these coffees this morning from Second Cup. Yo, so I pull
Sponsor
up.
us.
Sponsor us now.
Sponsor you.
Second
Sponsor
Cup.
us.
Actually, the Second Cup, talking about that, I like the design.
Yeah, they changed their cups, eh?
I actually think it's dope. So dude at Second Cup, he taking my order. I went in the drive-thru. It is delicious. This is the kettle corn cold brew, and it is actually fire. I have a deep love for kettle corn. How do you feel about kettle corn?
I don't like it. I like just popcorn. I don't like it sweet.
Do you like it with butter? What do you eat with
No.
your?
Plain. Like I like nothing on it.
That's
Like salt.
psychopathic.
Salt.
Fucking
I go to
psycho.
I'm the person at the movie theater that's like, "Can I have no butter on my popcorn, please?" And they look at me like, "What?" But I hate it. It gets soggy. It's not the vibe. So I'm just plain popcorn lover. Maybe a seasoning, like a dill pickle seasoning.
Okay. That's different. If you're gonna put a seasoning on it, that's good.
But
Plain is fucked up.
It's good. It's
Fucked
good.
up. I
Good.
mean, it's a healthier snack, I
Yeah.
guess.
Mhm.
I love kettle corn. So, anyways, we go and get these. I go and get these kettle corn cold brews from Second Cup. And there's one person in line in front of in the drive-through. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna take 2 seconds.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is with Second Cup
Mhm.
specifically. Every time I go there, you have to wait so long.
Yeah.
I was there behind that. I left, I think, at quarter after
Yeah.
the hour. I was gone for. It's across the street. It's 2 minutes from here. And it took me like 25
Yeah.
minutes behind one person. Behind one. I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, we're going to get home real quick. And I'm sitting there and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
But in Second Cup's defense, I will say the person taking my order was great, fantastic. And then I also got to say their product, they might have the best, like, cold brew.
I feel like you say that about every time we have cold brew somewhere. You say theirs is the best.
I didn't say McDonald's was the best.
Okay, you're right. No,
didn't say
I wouldn't
McDonald's
say.
is the best. Oh, I
it's
did say
good.
Tim's is the best.
Yeah.
Tim's is pretty good, though.
You know what? I think Second Cup's cold brew is good no matter what. It's like Starbucks. Theirs is always the same. Tim Hortons is hit or miss. McDonald's is hit or miss. So it's like if you want a good quality cold brew, it's like Second Cup and Starbucks is good.
That's a good
Always.
point, actually.
But I have the same experience with Second Cup. Like, I don't go there because it takes so long,
I just don't get.
and I just don't understand.
That's why people don't go there. I feel like.
Yeah.
I always am like, who the fuck is going to Second Cup? But every time I'm there, there's always groups of people there. There's always, even when I was waiting, you could see in the fucking restaurant, and there was people studying, and I was like, what? I'm never going to Second Cup. All right. So, anyways, that's what I was. That's how we're gonna start the episode. Faith is a big fan of coffee, though.
I am.
I would say caffeine in general. You're also an energy drink gal. I've never said gal ever before. I don't know why I chose today for that word to come up.
But I had probably the best coffee I've ever had this weekend. So we were staying at an Airbnb, and this blew my mind. So we were in Cochrane in this Airbnb, and it's like a tiny house. So the lady makes you breakfast every day, right? And I sent you pictures of the breakfast. It's insane.
I'll throw the picture up.
Yeah, like fresh quality, like breakfast. Everything's fresh from her garden. So like amazing breakfast. Like best food we had was just from this Airbnb. Like so good. And so she brought us fair trade, like organic coffee every morning in a French press. And I was drinking it black. It was that good. And I don't drink black coffee. I drink sugar, like Starbucks drinks, like love sugar in my coffee, cream in my coffee. And this was good black. That's how good it was.
Damn.
Like everything she made us, I was like, I couldn't believe it.
And it was a steal to stay there.
Yeah, $150 a night.
And that's Canadian.
And that's amazing for like to stay around the mountains. Like that's a crazy price. If you stay in Canmore, it's like $300 a night. And this we got breakfast.
That's crazy.
It was honestly the best experience. I would have stayed just there, just staying in the room, like in the little house. It was so nice.
And how big was the space? Because it looked pretty small.
Pretty small.
Cozy.
Honestly, like,
cozy.
The size of like a large room.
Oh, okay. Like a living room?
Yeah. Like it's a tiny home. So it's like, but they have everything you need. Like, especially if you're staying in the mountains, like you're not staying in your room.
Yeah.
So it's like, who cares?
Where do you go?
You need a bed and a bathroom, and then everything else is like, who cares?
Yeah, you have enough room to eat.
Yeah.
That's crazy, actually.
But it was awesome there.
Damn. And then you guys went to the Nordic Spa too?
Yeah.
Damn. And tell them what the Nordic Spa is.
So I believe you can search it up, but I'm I'm pretty sure that there's only one Nordic spa in Canada. And then the other Nordic spa, I keep stuttering on my words.
It's okay.
Yeah, so this one's in Kananaskis, and then the other one I think is in the States. But anyways, this place is like crazy. It is expensive, but I'm a cheap person. Like I love a deal, you know, I don't like to spend money. But if you are wanting to go and like have a relaxing day with friends, with a partner, like whatever, I've done both. And it's so worth the money.
Look at her sell this place.
Yeah.
Look at her
And they make enough money that, you know, they don't need me. Oh, there's a virtual. That's cool.
Oh.
So that's what like the entrance looks like. Yeah.
Oh, bougie place.
But like Jeremy too, every 5 minutes he's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, this is amazing. Like it's just the best. We were there for 6 hours.
Shit.
So that's what the spa looks like.
Oh, so this is where you're chilling.
Yeah. So that pool right there that's like the gathering pool. So they have like a cycle that you have to do. So it's like hot, warm, cold, rest, repeat.
Okay.
And so you're supposed to do that all day. So you like walk around the spa and you get to decide like what order, what you want to do or whatever. But that's like the warm pool and it's like 35 degrees.
Okay.
And then the hot pool is 40 degrees and that's the shit. That's the best one.
And is that somewhere back here?
What's
in here?
That one right there, that pool right there. Right.
This one.
Yeah, that's the hot one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so that exfoliation cabin you do at the very end. So you basically take like a communal shower. It's kind of weird, and it's like steamy in there.
Oh,
and then
shit,
you
can even
rub
go
your
inside.
body with like
some kind of scrub.
Yeah, scrub. That's the word. Thank you.
Oh, there's chairs and shit.
Yeah, but it's so steamy I couldn't even freaking find the shower.
What?
But then that's a sauna right there.
This one. Damn.
Oh no, that's the steam room. So there's
Oh.
2 steam rooms in there. There's a eucalyptus one and then an amethyst one.
What?
And
in
it's
here?
like, yeah, it's like you smelling Vicks. Like we walked out of there and I was like, I feel like I could smell tomorrow. Like, you know, like you're so I know,
can
Jeremy
smell
said the same thing,
tomorrow.
but it's like you are, and then that's the cold plunge.
Oh, right here.
And it's 5 degrees.
Damn.
People were staying in there for 15 minutes, Jordan.
in the cold plunge.
I'm like, y'all are crazy. I could do a minute, 2 minutes, and then I'm like, okay, I can't feel my toes anymore. And then that's the sauna, that one there.
Oh shit.
And the saunas are like insane. Every time I'm there, I'm like, Jordan would love this. You need to go.
This is another sauna.
Yeah.
So this is
There's 2 saunas, and then they have those small, like portable ones that you can go to.
these ones.
Yeah.
Portable ones.
Yeah. But those saunas are insane. There's like a Finnish one. It's called the Finnish sauna. Like finish the place. Not like
yeah. I
That's
assume
another
that's
cool-
what it meant.
Yeah. And then that's the restaurant that they have, which that's the worst part, to be honest. It's the food's not that great at the restaurant. And you can't leave and come back. So that's your only option for food.
Damn, they got like hammocks and shit to
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah. And it's so nice. Like we were lucky because it got nicer in the afternoon, but like we got there and it was -2. So like all the chairs had frost on them. And so like we stayed in the hot tub for like honestly a half an hour because I'm like, I don't want to get out. It's so cold.
Of course.
And I'm like, we're not doing the cold plunge until it gets warmer because like, I'm like, we'll fucking die.
yeah, but the restaurant looks crazy.
Yeah. It looks nice, but just the food, like I've eaten there twice and everything I've gotten there, I'm like, eh.
Oh, here's the steam room.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the amethyst. See, what is
Oh.
that word? Is that
alchemist.
alchemist? Not amethyst.
Amethyst would be. Damn.
But every time, I'll tell you a
Oh,
funny
the Finnish
story.
sauna.
Last time we went there, I went for my bachelorette, right? And so I'm with all my girlfriends, and we go into the eucalyptus steam room, and it's me and one of my best friends, Anika, and we walk into the steam room, and there's 2 doors, but it's like so steamy in the entrance. So we're like, oh, this is nice, and we're like sitting down. And the worker comes and like opens the door to the steam room. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we were sitting in like the lobby of the steam room. Like, this isn't even the steam room.
Dumbass.
So then we open the door to go into the steam room. And Anika's like, oh my gosh, Faith, like my eyes, it's burning. And I'm like, no, maybe it's just like the first wave. Like, just go in. So I like push her in and we go in. And like,
the first wave.
I'm like immediately crying. Like it's like I just walked into a fire. Like my face is on fire. Like my eyes are burning. My mouth, like I'm salivating. Like it was bad. So I'm like, I pull her arm out. I'm like, let's get out of here. Like we're sitting in the lobby, like dying, laughing, but like crying because it hurts. And so we're sitting there like trying to calm down, whatever. And the worker comes and opens the door and he's like, oh my gosh, like something's broken. Like and so I forced my friend in there and it was broken. Like they had to shut the whole thing down. It was still broken all day.
Bro.
But I thought it was just like you had to get over
Hardcore.
yeah.
Damn, you're such an athlete.
Oh,
That's such what a mentality. It's mind over matter push.
But it was bad. It burned. But it's really nice when it's working properly, but
Damn. Did you get to use that one last time then at all?
no. But we got to this time and it was amazing. Like it was so nice.
Damn.
But I can't rave about this place more. If you're ever in Kananaskis, it's so worth the money. I haven't gotten a massage there because it's ridiculously extra in price and I just don't think it's worth it. But
A nice massage.
But it's so awesome. Like we were there, we went right in the morning.
a couple's massage
Yeah.
is over $500.
Yeah. That's Monday to Friday. That's not if you go on the weekend.
No, that is the weekend.
Oh, Friday. Oh, that is the
Oh,
weekend.
it's just over
Yeah.
500 if you go on the
Yeah.
weekend, including Monday.
Yeah.
That's-
Well, you got to think about because people stay, right?
Oh, they'll take the Monday off.
Yeah.
That is extraordinary.
Because that's the thing that you don't think about. Because we're so lucky that we live so close to the mountains. Like, I feel like we not take advantage of it, but like, we're just like, oh, it's a trip to the mountains, right?
Take it for granted.
Take it for granted, yeah. But it's like, in the Airbnb, we were looking at the guest book, and it's like people from Australia and Britain and like United States, and it's like it's baffling to me because I'm like, oh, it's Canmore, like, or it's Banff, but it's like people go there, they come all the way
Yeah.
to see it.
Oh yeah, I even remember when I was damn, I haven't been to Canmore in a couple years now. And I guess that's exactly taking it for granted. And last time it was during COVID, and I remember what was weird was they had all of the restaurants in, because we biked from Canmore to Banff, and all of the restaurants in Banff were outside at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but they were outside all in one big area together. So I was like, what's the point of this? For one, social distancing,
Yeah.
being outside, but everyone's fucking squished in
Oh,
these
yeah.
domes outside. I was like, okay, you just made outside a different type of inside.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I remember we were climbing whatever mountain. I never know the names of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got to the top, there was a dude from Quebec there, and there was like a family from I want to say New Brunswick or something. And there was a bunch of what they were saying when we were up there, because we were fucking talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that coming here to the mountains was the best because it was the only place they could travel and do something, because everywhere else was closed. So at least they could go to Banff and Canmore and go to the mountains.
That's actually smart because you can hike no matter what. Like that was enclosed.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's great. Everyone we saw there was fucking from somewhere in Canada. Obviously, you couldn't come from.
Right, you can travel that far.
From outside, but everyone, I was like, oh, no one fucking is from Alberta over here.
Yeah. I heard my first Texas accent in real life there.
At the spa?
Not at the spa. I can't remember. We were in Banff because we walked around Banff for the day, which is crazy because those people got freaking killed by a bear on Friday.
Oh yeah.
And we were in Banff on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Which is like so sad that happened.
Oh yeah, not to laugh at I wasn't laughing at them.
Yeah.
2 killed in suspected grizzly bear attack in Canada's Banff National Park.
Yeah, and we found out about it on Sunday when me and Jeremy we were going to go on a hike on Saturday, and then it was pouring rain all day. And I'm like, Jeremy, we could have got eaten by a bear.
Could you imagine? That would be the most ruthless way to go.
I couldn't even imagine.
People, I mean, let's get to your story in a second, but I got a story about a bear. Not a bear. When I was working at this liquor store, the one manager, she loved animals, but she was delusional. She was delusional about animals. And she was talking to me about, she's like, I don't know why people are so afraid of like cougars and bears. She's like, I think if you treat them with respect and love, that you could take care of them and be friends. I looked at her, I was like, you think you can go pet a bear? She's like, yeah, it would sense my energy. And I was like, you're going to die. It's stupid people. I was like, yeah, I can't believe.
Those are the people that die. It's always those people that die.
I was like, what's in your mind? Especially bears. You know who made me really not afraid of bears, but like really put it into perspective is Joe Rogan.
I was going to say Joe Rogan. I knew you were going to say that.
He talks about bears in Alberta because people come here to hunt bears because obviously we have them so much. And he's like, these motherfuckers, they'll kill each other just for fun. Yeah. Sometimes bears will they'll just be like, okay, I'm fucking just going to go kill every animal I see and not even eat them. And just kill them and leave them. Yeah. And you'll be able to see them because they'll just be blood smeared all over. Like, they're ruthless.
Yeah, bears are crazy.
Not to disrespect these 2 people that just died from bear.
Rest in peace, guys.
R.I.P. Husband and wife, and I think their dog.
Not the dog. And a grizzly, but right now is bear season though. So like, if you don't have bears, I mean, bear spray ain't gonna save you if there's. But I'm just saying that like it's bear season right now. So like, I was even scared to even think about going on a hike, because I'm like, they're going to be hibernating soon. Like they're hungry.
And that was another thing I was saying too. It's like, man, bears rarely just attack motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah, 14%
Of
bear-
grizzly bear attacks worldwide,
especially-
lead to fatalities. Damn.
Yeah.
So you can get attacked by a grizzly bear, and chances are you'll survive.
Because they don't want to kill you. Like, I don't think grizzly bears are grizzly bears the ones that kill lots? I thought it was black bears kill more. Or is that the opposite? I took a bear course. I should know this.
Damn, we should know that. This is the animal that can kill us here. What's more deadly?
Because I know grizzly bears are bigger, but
Oh, look, it's polar.
Oh.
I know polar bears will fuck you up.
for sure.
Grizzlies are
Oh,
20
wow.
times more dangerous.
Wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn. Okay, so I think black bears are timid. They say.
Yeah.
So black bears won't fuck around. Damn, but a grizzly bear will fuck you up.
That's sad. Well,
Now we know. But moving to a lighter note, you heard your first Texas accent.
Oh, yeah.
today.
yeah, we were in Banff. I can't even remember the situation. Oh, we were in a store and we were shopping around, and then it was like a husband and wife, and they were talking, and I was like, oh, like I've never heard one in person before. And it was strong. Like they're probably from like on somewhere in Texas. Like it was that like very thick.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever heard anyone with like a
No.
even like a southern accent anywhere in
Right.
the States. Like, you know?
We don't normally hear that kind of stuff here. Like in Canmore and Banff, everyone's from Australia or New Zealand. Like you hear those accents.
yeah.
Everyone
Oh, yeah.
that served us was from Australia or New Zealand. Like it's so popular
yeah.
there.
And can you tell the difference between Australian and New Zealand?
I can.
You can?
I can because I it's so weird. I sat next to a girl in grade 5, I think it was, and she was from New Zealand. And so listening to her talk for a year, and we were kids, but like now I can tell the difference right away.
Oh, that's crazy, actually. I guess if I had like an Australian friend or something.
Because I said to her, "Oh, you're from Australia." She didn't like that. They don't like that. They don't like to be confused.
Damn, that's like calling an Edmontonian a
Oh,
Calgarian.
yeah, like they don't like to be confused. And so I learned my lesson real quick.
Damn,
Yeah.
interesting.
If you actually listen, it does sound different. Like I don't know how to explain it, how it's different, but it definitely is.
Because I mean, it's a whole different island, is it
Yeah.
not?
New Zealand is beautiful, though. I think I'd rather go to New Zealand over Australia.
Are they considered the same? What are they? Oh, here's a good. Damn,
Yeah.
that's New Zealand. New Zealand's that small.
Yeah, it's not big.
What's the population?
Probably more than here.
Well, Australia's 26 million. Damn, so we have more people than Australia.
In Canada? How much is in
I
Canada?
think 40.
Huh. That blew my mind. I didn't know that.
New Zealand's only 5 million people.
Oh, that's like almost of Edmonton.
No.
Well, Toronto, maybe.
But yeah, Toronto. Toronto probably. Yeah. Toronto and
'Kay.
Vancouver.
There's 2 things I wanted to ask you
Oh, okay.
on this podcast.
Oh, she's coming to interview Jay.
Okay, have you seen Shane Gillis's new
I have.
special?
I have.
How did you feel about it?
I thought it was fucking hilarious. Because
Oh.
you know who told me to watch it?
Who?
Brandon. Brandon
Really?
loves
I could see him liking him.
beautiful dogs, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was apprehensive. I'm very picky with my comedy. If it's not Theo Vaughn or Crystalia, I usually don't watch it. I'm just very particular. But he's hilarious.
He might be one of the what the fuck is that commercial? He might be one of the funniest comedians out right now.
Oh my gosh. It was like every part of it from beginning to end. I was laughing my head off.
Oh, because he was making the jokes about what?
Was he George Washington?
I was gonna say the president.
Oh
That's right.
my god.
That's right.
And his Trump accent?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, that's spot on.
Yeah, the Shane Gillis. He was just on Kill Tony as one of the. I know you don't like Kill Tony.
Yeah, you love that.
I love Kill Tony. It's one of the funniest. Actually, and I'm going to pull up a clip from it because I got to show you this new comedian. That's
Oh.
why that show's the best. It's because there's a lot of people that suck, and sometimes the episodes aren't good. But sometimes they find a new comedian, and he's the funniest person instantly.
Yeah, I gotta give it another try.
Because have you seen the rocks? The guy with the rocks? That was a freaking. Just
Yeah, you sent that to me.
one.
That is not what it
This one.
Just for this one, for the big one, what's something you think you should know about you as we get to know you? What do you think the 3,000 people in front of you? What's something interesting about you?
I'm not retarded, but I like rock.
Oh my god! Oh.
I just like how they feel. They feel real good.
He just got it in his pocket. That's the best part.
Is that a rock?
Yeah.
You like rock?
I got a couple of them.
Oh.
I got this shit outside earlier.
Oh my. Bro.
Oh my gosh. Joe Rogan never laughs. Like, he's so grouchy.
That was amazing.
Look at him.
That's the truth. He's
not good on that show.
not good on anything that's not his typical thing because
No.
he's the best at it, you know. So
Yeah.
to watch anyone else.
He wrecks the clip. Like, I wish they cut him out of it because he just looks so unimpressed. I'm like, how are you not dying?
So it's
Ugh.
oh my god. And so now they sell Kill Tony merch
Yeah.
because he's always this Cam Patterson. He always wears this outfit. And so now they sell this white t-shirt, and with every purchase you get a rock.
That's clever.
That's so funny. But yeah, circling back to so Shane Gillis.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's so
I
funny.
spelled so many things wrong. Oh yeah, but he did this one. So this was crazy. I've never seen this I haven't been watching Kill Tony for long. But Ric Flair, you know Ric Flair?
Oh yeah.
So Tony Hinchcliffe, the guy who runs the show, loves WWE. Like is a soup. So anytime like Joe Rogan brings on a wrestler, he will always usually bring on Tony Hinchcliffe too because he knows
Oh, wow.
everything about WWE. Everything, like super fat.
Wow.
And so he got to bring Ric Flair on the podcast, you know, and he's met Ric Flair a couple times on podcasts and stuff. Ric Flair obviously doesn't know what the show's about.
Oh. That's
And
funny.
so they start, and there's the first couple comedians suck. Awful. Some of the worst I've ever seen. And so they're like berating these guys. Like just, what the fuck was that? Like, you know? And then fucking Ric Flair is like, he's like, I can't take part of making fun of people. He's like, what you guys are doing here, he's like, it may all be for fun, but it's not for me. And like, you know, like Ari Shafir's on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Shane Gillis, Mark North. These guys are ruthless.
Oh yeah.
And obviously everyone is laughing and having a and then Rick picks up the mic and he's like, I think I'm gonna leave. And Tony Hinchcliffe's like, don't leave.
Yeah.
Like what? Like this is what we do on the show. And then
Yeah.
he sits around for a couple more people and they start fucking just roasting some of these guys. And then he's like, yeah, I gotta go. And he talks for like 5 minutes about how you should never make fun of people and like just kills this show. He leaves. The things those three guys start saying about Ric Flair. And then this is like one of Tony Hinchcliffe's heroes too, you know? And they're like, Shane Gillis was like, Ric Flair kind of fucking sucks. Boo, Ric Flair. Like, you know, like, oh
that's
my
funny.
God. It
That's
was
hilarious.
So yeah, anyways, big fan of Shane Gillis. He's hilarious.
Yeah, that special was amazing.
Yeah, I can't remember. He said something. I like how he's kind of like a bro. Like he talks about like football. Because wasn't he a good football player or something?
No. You're thinking of someone played baseball. Was it Mark Norman?
No, I'm almost certain
He played
that
football?
Shane Gillis played football. That's why like he's like a.
I like that he's average looking too. Like, sorry, but like Matt Rife is not funny to me. Like, do you like Matt Rife?
You know
No
what?
offense to him.
You know what? I used to like him more, and I don't know, because I feel like there's good looking comedians. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't think of one off the top
Theo
of my.
Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn's not bad looking.
He's good looking. But he's
Well,
but he's
especially
not
that
like,
picture.
Matt Rife is like
Yeah,
he's just like he's not funny to me. I'm like, I don't know.
he used to. I feel like he used to be funnier. I feel like when he was. I mean,
Damn, he's 28.
damn.
I thought he was older, to be honest. That's wild.
Subject, culture, pulp, recreational drug use, human sexuality. It is crazy. I mean, I never know how much they actually really make, but he's
Oh,
supposed
yeah.
to make like tens, like $28 million last year or something. I never know how accurate those are because I'm always like,
But his whole tour is sold out. You can't get tickets. And it's everywhere. He's coming here.
that's crazy. Yeah, like I
But-
wouldn't go see.
No, I wouldn't
that.
go see him either.
Especially because the comedy scene here is crazy. We get everybody now.
Yeah.
We get, I mean, not like Dave Chappelle or something, like, 'cause-
Yeah. But I got to see Theo Vaughn and Chris Lee in 1 year. Like, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
That's crazy. And that Theo
Oh my
Theo
gosh.
Vaughn was
Crazy.
the outdoor festival. I wonder if there's photos of that.
That was so much fun.
That was one of the best.
Yeah, it was insane. It was so good.
It was so good. There was just so many. Damn, that's looking away from the stage.
Yeah, that's just the VIP. You can. Oh yeah, I guess yeah.
and then
that
just
is.
fucking mountains.
Just mountains of people.
We're like way over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so
It
much
was
fun.
so much fun, and he is so good live. Like you can just.
I was nervous because his last special was such a flop
Oh, yeah,
to us. I
don't
know so many people that loved it, but
Oh, and also shout out to Sam Morril.
oh, I love him now. Just
Hilarious.
so funny.
But whatever special it was before, it just I don't know.
But he even was, I think he talked about it on one of his podcasts about how well filming it and everything, like he knew it wasn't going to be good because it just was like an off day. And then like the producers and him weren't vibing very well. And he's like, this isn't going to be good. And so I know he even like talks shit about it.
But it was so, and maybe just because they're boys and stuff, but it's like so many people were talking so good about it. And I
Yeah.
was just like, why are you guys lying?
But that's even nice though. Like that they were even doing,
I guess
like,
so. I guess.
you
I
know?
guess you don't want your boy to tell
Yeah.
you it fucking sucks.
Like
got
when
enough
you know,
peop-
when
yeah.
you know it already does, and then people around you are saying, like, that would suck. But yeah, he was amazing. I honestly, I don't know. I think him and Chris Lee were both equally as funny.
Yeah. How did that show go?
Oh,
Because it was
crazy.
at where here?
The Jubilee.
Oh, crazy.
Which I was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to be like the vibe, because it's like the Jubilee is like where I've seen like Broadway plays and stuff. So I was like, I didn't know how it would be. I mean, that was my first comedy show, the Theo Vaughn one. And so this one, I didn't really know what to expect.
Damn, that was your first?
Yeah.
And I think I knew that actually because I
Yeah.
think we talked about it.
So my bar is pretty high for comedy shows
Yeah,
now because I've
holy
seen two amazing
shit.
shows. But we got there and it was really good. Again, it sucked because they just can't bring merch over because it's too expensive. Like, I get it. But both of them didn't have
Especially
any
to
merch.
Canada.
So I was so disappointed. But his openers were crazy. Like Denny Love is so funny.
Danny Love?
Danny Love.
Like that?
Yeah. He is, like, I think I laughed just as hard at his 15 minutes that I did at Chris.
Oh,
like,
I don't know who this is.
oh my gosh, Jordan. It was so funny. He was just talking about, like, he was hilarious. He's just this, like, short little dude. He's, like, maybe my height, like 5'6", like, really small guy. And just everything was bangers. Everything he said was so funny.
Oh, that's correct, because he's like an actor.
Yeah, he's been in a couple shows. You'll see him in things now. Like, if you recognize
crazy.
his face.
So
he was
him,
amazing.
and then there was one more.
There was Lulu Gonzalez.
Lulu?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. What is going on?
Just wants you to look at Luke Combs.
Hey, Luke
Yeah,
Combs,
Lulu Gonzalez. Oh, she spells it like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's in the military. Just wild.
What?
Yeah. She kind of like says that halfway through her set, which was wild. The only thing that kind of sucked, I don't know why the Jubilee did this, but she performed.
And she's a sponsored athlete golfer for Adidas.
Oh, what the hell?
What the fuck? Sorry.
No, it's
Keep
okay. The Jubilee does it like she performed for 15 minutes and then there was like a 20-minute break so people could get like their last drinks and then she performed for another 15 minutes.
Huh?
Yeah. So that sucked cuz like she's like, "So I was saying," and I'm like, you know, like it just kind of
That was just a way
wrecked
for them
the
to
vibe.
make money. Oh, damn. She's done some fucking... Those are some pretty big YouTubers and stuff. Content creators.
Yeah, I mean, she's funny. She's just not my cup of tea.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You can't like everybody.
Yeah. She's just like, yeah, not my cup of tea.
Damn, but look at her life. Stand-up comedian, Army vet, Adidas golf.
But she's like, if you watch Chris D'Elia's channel, she's always on it for his like tour reports, and she's hilarious on that. Like, she's a funny person. I just not a fan of her stand-up.
That's fair. And that's one thing I'm finding now with, especially with podcasting and stuff, is some of these people I like way more. Like, I used to really like Mark Norman until his last special. And I couldn't even make it through the whole special because so many of the jokes were recycled.
That's what you said, yeah.
You know, I was like, man, I feel like I've heard. And so to be honest, I haven't given it a full. I
thought it was funny.
But I think he's so funny. Have you seen his? Have you watched his podcast
With
Sam?
Yeah, I have. I watched with who was recently on it that I just watched. I watched when he talked about being in Edmonton. And then I watched when Tom Segura was on it and when Chris Stefano was on it.
Oh, yeah.
I like seeing what cocktails they're drinking.
Because it's a cool... I mean, they do drink fucking hella. This guy, too. Have you fucking... I always forget what his name is. Mateo. Have you...
Mm-mm.
He's... I mean, his whole thing is... Okay, let's stop.
You just talk about comedy and coffee the whole time.
This fucking dude... It was on their podcast. So he's gay. He just got married. When he was on their podcast,
Yeah.
he just got married. Look at this dude's husband. Look at this dude's husband. He's like this Spanish, like they're just shredded. These
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
dudes.
They kind of look the same.
They did these like bougie ass.
That is a good looking couple.
Oh yeah, and that's what they were saying. They pulled up. I can't remember what his name is, but they pulled up his fucking Instagram. It's just like thirst traps. There's just he's like, yeah, look how
Rodrigo
hot
is his name.
Oh yeah, Rodrigo. And it's just so funny because they were just like,
That's funny.
Sam and Mark's like, what the fuck? You guys are the hottest couple I've ever seen. It's like, I'm not gay, but holy shit.
That's so funny.
So that was a cool. That he's so funny. I don't necessarily like his stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because he talks about it. His demographics, gay people. You know, like that's where a lot of his material is aimed at and stuff. But him on podcasts, fucking like when he was on Bobby Lee's Tiger Belly. Oh my god, so funny. Damn, we did just talk about fucking hella.
Yeah. My favorite though.
Oh yeah, I freaking.
Oh, I love it.
We are really into comedy.
Yeah. But I'd say you more than me. I'm not as diverse. I just listen to the same people.
Word, and I'll try. Oh, talk about diverse. Let me fucking pull this up. Let me pull this one up. So this is the new dude.
Is it just me or is it hard to drink this coffee out of this sipper thing?
I mean, yes, yes, to a certain degree.
I just like to chug my coffee and I can't.
I gotta we're pulling up this Kill Tony clip. I just gotta figure out what the fuck. It's this one.
Oh.
I mean, it's a rush. Once
Oh my god, this guy, William McGregory or something, he closes every Kill Tony thing. And he's just a psycho. He's just look at this guy, you know?
Like the guy in the back with the hat.
He is exactly. This says 120. I'm gonna say probably 11, maybe 21. I saved the clip just for this moment. Ah! No way. No way. I thought it would have saved the exact space.
Oh, I thought it would have done that too. You should have just screen recorded it.
I should have. I thought it was gonna be so easy to pull up.
That's a
It's
new
not
thing
even
I'm
maybe
obsessed
this.
with.
Oh, it's right here. Okay. Okay, so this is like the new guy. Oh, fuck.
Have you ever even
Oh, I love the garbage guys.
These areas, everybody were Diaz. Rick Diaz. Oh my goodness gracious, here he is.
Already
everybody.
obsessed.
Things just picked up. One more time for Rick, everybody.
All right. Well, okay. I'm here to bring the energy up. Oh wow, a statue of me. I look like Spider-Man got bit by a normal spider. I went to the cinema last weekend and I forgot to put my phone in silent mode, and nothing happened.
He just shits on himself the whole time.
Did you guys know that when cats know they're gonna die, they look for a very quiet and isolated place to die, away from the other cats? Yeah, they come to my place. I was in bed with this lady one time, and out of the blue she pulls out a pair of cuffs, and she's like, "Cuff me! I want to feel punished." So I was like, I cuffed her to me.
That's funny.
So you find out that this guy is from Europe, and he came because he was just trying. So he came to Austin, Texas for like the month, and so then they instantly book him for everything. He's like, because Redman runs like a secret show on the Thursday, so if you're
Right.
good, he'll invite you to that show at the same week, and then Tony books him. He's like, well, what if you just come on tour with me? I have all these spots, and then he's like, you can come on every Kill Tony before you leave.
Wow.
And so now he's just been on all the podcasts, not the big podcasts, but
Yeah.
like, like the littler guys. He's been on all of them. And I
He's
was-
funny. I love people like I like awkward humor like that.
then it's like, this is the payoff to watching the show.
Yeah.
It's like everyone else, I even remember this, everyone else fucking sucked.
Yeah, I guess, and you find the gem.
And then it's like, damn, and then you watch him just become a star, like that Cam Patterson, whatever, the guy with the rocks. Same thing with him. I was watching that special because that was the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is this guy, yo? What the fuck is with these rocks?
It's so funny.
And then it just,
Oh, it's good.
and then it just
It's a good one.
blew the fuck up. Oh my god. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Right. I have a bunch. Do you want to ask your second question, or do you want me to ask you a question?
Oh, I was gonna say, you can ask me a question. Doesn't matter. I was just gonna ask about the Drake. Why does he keep canceling on everyone, on the Drake concerts?
Oh, why
Have
do
you
you
seen-
think? Why do you think I would?
I don't know. I thought you would know, because I keep seeing on TikTok like he canceled.
2 hours before?
Well, this was in August,
Yeah, it's only the
Oh, I
beginning
guess.
of October.
but he just canceled in Nashville. For like the third time. And I'm like, why is he canceling?
That must cost. This is technical issues.
Like, I'm like, what is
What did you say?
Nashville? Yeah.
October 1st, and had been postponed again. Fans
Yeah.
were left stunned and disappointed for a second time.
Like, and I'm like, it must
Damn.
be something big. I'm like, he's big enough that he could cancel for not really big reason though. But like, I'm like, he must be canceling for something. Like, what's going on? He keeps rescheduling. Like, it's been a bunch.
This is saying that it's logistically impossible to do his show. But it's like that should have been figured out before you're on tour.
Right? Like, I was like, there has to be something going on. Like, I just keep hearing about his show getting canceled.
I actually haven't heard anything about
I
any
can't
of the
believe you haven't
shows.
heard about it.
That's wild. I was like, what are you talking about, Drake canceling
Yeah.
show? I was like, what the fuck are you talking
I thought it
about?
was something juicy to talk about.
That's crazy. I couldn't even imagine, because I canceled a show last year, almost a year ago, a year and 3 days, because I canceled it November 3rd. And fuck, I'm still paying for it. Like,
Yeah.
it cost me so much money to not do a show.
So I couldn't imagine.
like-
2 arenas.
Because there's rich people never have to pay the consequences the same way, Like, I couldn't
Yeah.
even imagine that. I couldn't imagine, because they must be sold out. They must be 30, 40,000 people, 2 days. So they must
Oh yeah.
damn near 100,000 people fucking. I like how you said you thought this was going to be juicy.
Yeah. I was thinking of some juicy things to talk about.
That's so funny. Wow. Talk about, Taylor Swift.
Oh, I was gonna say that.
This has been one of the. What the hell is this right now?
Google's probably celebrating something. You know, they just turned 25. I'm like, I'm only a year younger than Google. Not even.
Damn, only a couple years old. You might be the exact same age as
Well,
the internet.
Yeah, because it came out in 98. And that was the same year I was born.
The internet or Google?
Google.
Oh, 1983.
Yeah, I'm not that old.
No, but how long is the internet for public use?
Yeah, 93.
Oh,
Almost
93.
you.
Oh, yeah, so it's me.
But then Google came out the same year I was born, which is crazy.
Damn.
Makes me feel old. Like, and I'm not even old, but that makes me feel old.
That makes me feel young. What are you talking
I
about?
guess. But like the web now is just so like, I don't know.
Oh, it is crazy. I don't know how anyone survived without the internet.
Okay, back to Taylor Swift
Yeah,
though.
Taylor Swift.
Way more interesting.
So you must obviously Taylor Swift and what's his name?
You don't even know Travis Kelce.
I just don't know his name. Obviously Taylor Swift is way more famous than this other guy, who's also super
Extremely famous. Have you seen his podcast with his brother?
No, but I do know that it's #1 now that he's dating Taylor Swift.
Of course it is.
Because that's what I was going to say. Have you heard about all of the Taylor effect is what they're
Yes.
calling it of the NFL? So since she was spotted at the Chiefs game with his mom, right? That's
Yeah.
his mom. They sold more tickets the day she was seen at that game
Yep.
than that team has sold the entire rest of the year.
He got 30,000 new followers that day on Instagram. His jersey sold out that day.
Jeez.
The outfit he was wearing when he walked in with her immediately sold out. So these people are so smart. Like so his outfit that he was wearing like a blue suit. Oh, right there. If you scroll down, there's a picture of them holding hands. You're right on it. USA Today.
Wait. Yeah,
This
yeah.
one.
Oh, bro, I can't.
Okay, so that outfit, right? The designer had it as an outfit,
Oh,
whatever you could
that's
buy all
sick.
together. But because she has a new album coming out, her 1989 is coming out like the Taylor version, and it's like blue and white. The designer changed the name on the website to the 1989 suit and immediately sold out.
That's extraordinary.
But it's honestly so fascinating to watch, like
Oh yeah.
them together. Like it's so, like she was at the game yesterday because yesterday was Sunday, right? Yeah, and she was with Blake Lively and yeah, the picture right there. This
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I was like, man, you're doing better at
Yeah,
spelling.
this one. Who is that? Blake Lively. What's his name? He's Canadian. Everyone
Oh,
loves him.
freaking Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
What
Ryan
the
Reynolds,
Oh,
and
Blake
then-
Lively is his wife.
Yeah, and then that's Austin Mahon's wife, and then that's Sophia, whatever, that Joe Jonas's ex-wife.
Oh, Faith
Yeah.
knows all the gossip.
I really do.
Faith knows all the
Somehow.
gossip.
But yeah, it was crazy. Like everyone
Holy-
just, and now all these people watch Sunday Night Football just to see Taylor Swift because
That's crazy.
they film her a whole time.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the only other female person I can relate her to is Beyonce.
Yeah,
You know, the only other person that has that kind of pull on people,
for sure.
you know, is Beyonce. It's like fucking
But with her, she's exciting because she's dating someone new.
yeah.
Always, no offense. She hasn't for a long time though. She was with that other guy for a really long time. But so that's what's exciting about her.
That's so crazy.
But it's funny because the NFL asked if they could start playing her music at games. She said no. I was like, wow, that's hilarious.
I wonder why she's got enough money because it's like
Oh yeah.
because if your songs are getting played in football stadiums, you're getting
Oh yeah.
when you're getting paid as an artist like that, that's technically a licensing deal, and so it could be she could be turning down possibly millions of dollars for saying that.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a play. You get a Spotify stream kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like almost if she performed in front of all those people.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, yo, there's 50,000 people, and then if that song is televised, it's
Mhm.
like, and then if you're signing the rights away to use that song, it's like
Yeah.
that could be. She's just like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, which I don't blame her. Like she's just particular about her music now and where it gets played because of everything that happened. Which
She has had a crazy.
Yeah.
She has had a crazy. And I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but I do every time she drops an album, I'm like, okay, I gotta listen to it. It's gonna sound crazy regardless. Her
Yeah.
last album, I wasn't too big of a fan of.
what Midnight's is it?
Yeah,
There's some bangers on there though. I think Midnight's is a new one.
yeah, Midnight. Because I actually liked the Folklore one,
Really, and that's my least favorite album.
or was it Evermore? That was
Those both came out in the same year.
because she had a bunch of features with freaking Bon Iver.
Oh, that is Folklore. I think, yeah.
Of course, they never list the features.
Yeah, it is that one. Because it's Hoax and Exile is with him.
Damn, you know this album fucking.
August. Me and Jeremy love that song.
Oh.
Jeremy knows all the words.
Damn. She's crazy. She's crazy because she's one of the artists that actually sells hella vinyl too.
It's just crazy that like her songs, it's like everyone knows them. Like even if you're not a fan, you know her songs. Everyone does.
It's actually let's just see what her. I was gonna see what her fucking. What's her biggest?
Cruel Summer, I think, is her biggest song. What would be
Um.
her newest one? Is Cruel Summer is her biggest one. Oh, Antihero.
Oh yeah, that one because that one was. Oh, and then it was previously Blank Space.
Do you know Antihero? That one's
Yeah. Now.
It's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
He sang that at
I'm
my
the
wedding.
problem. Yeah, see, that's how big of a song. That's right.
That was
Because Auntie
That song was
Crystal was fucking was
Yeah.
fucking bop into that one.
That's a good one.
That's crazy. Well, now that we're actually, because that's what I wanted to talk to you about. The last two podcasts have been about me, well, kind of, commissioning the wedding, but it was your wedding.
Yeah, it was.
It was your wedding. What was I gonna ask? Oh, I guess, yeah. How are you feeling being a wife now?
Good. I honestly thought it would feel different, but I honestly think that like once you move in with someone, and me and Jeremy were talking about this yesterday, that you honestly feel married already. Because it's like we're just very equal with everything in our household. Like that's just how we do things. And so it just always felt like since we haven't been living together very long, but ever since we have, it just feels like we've been married. But honestly, it's been the best. Like it's been crazy. The last couple of weeks it's been really busy and with all fun things, but
Of course.
like you said in the podcast, it was funny because you're like, it was the best day of my life. And I keep saying that it was the best day of my life. Like, hands down.
Word.
Yeah. I just like, it's funny because I was talking to a couple of my coworkers at school and they were saying like, oh, I'm glad that you enjoyed your day because so many people don't. And I just don't understand that to me. Like, you spend so much money to not enjoy your day.
Yeah. That's because I have been at people's wedding and talked to the bride and groom after, and it's like, yeah, this was too much, or this was, and that was one thing. I think it was you did things simple, but they were well done. Like everything was so sick.
Because our biggest thing is that we just wanted everything to be what we wanted and to be like us. Like me and Jeremy love tacos, so we got a taco truck. We just like simple. Like we don't like snazzy stuff, so everything was simple.
Yeah.
Like and then our like the ceremony, because you did it, it was like very relaxed and like chill and fun. Like, it just, we wanted it to just be like us and we're just very chill and relaxed and just wanted everyone to have fun. And like all of our, like the bartenders were our friends too, like, so it's just.
They were having fun.
They were having fun dancing with me and like it just felt like everything was meant to be. Like
the weather was crazy.
The weather was good. Like the venue people knew my photographer, so that was cool. Like
oh yeah, and those photos are crazy.
Yeah, they were amazing.
Throw some photos up somewhere.
Yeah, she did a really good job. But everything was just perfect, exactly what we wanted.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. Because again, just coming from my perspective of being an attendant at the wedding, it was so much fun. It was chilling.
Yeah.
There was fucking. Of course, there was fucking people just bitching about the little things, like like I can't even remember what that one lady said to me. I don't know who it was, but like people kept coming up to me and asking questions before the wedding because just because obviously I looked like I was doing something.
Yeah,
there,
I looked like I knew what was going on.
And so there was like a couple times people would come up and say just like. It's just people, like, just coming up and saying just, like, left-handed thing. Like, there was the one thing I said was, like, it's like if you're leaving, like, don't come back kind of thing. I don't know who it was, but she came up to me, and she's like, well, I'm leaving and I'm coming back. I'm like, I don't care. She's like, why would you say that? I was like, I was told to say that. She's like, well, I'm leaving and coming back. She's like, even if you try to stop me. I was like, I was like,
I ain't gonna stop you.
I was like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
And then did I tell you what Grandma said to me?
The Jesus
thing. So she freaking in the middle of so for one, she came up and she smoked the weed pen with I can't remember who I was with. Somebody was there with me. Fuck, I can't remember. I was also pretty loaded. But Grandma came up and she told me some weird ass story about getting high, and then there was a goat, and I was sitting there and I was like, what the fuck are you saying? I have no idea what's going on. And then she's like, if you hold the pen, I'll hit it. I'm like, okay. So she like doesn't even hit it, she puts her lips on it, and it's like, okay, it doesn't work like that, but whatever. And then later on the dance, like, I don't know, hours later, she comes up to me. She's like, I know what you're doing. And I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And she's like, I see you out here looking like Jesus. And then she starts, and because Auntie Crystal was there.
Yeah.
Auntie Crystal was looking at me while she was like, Grandma, and I'm like, what? I was like, I'm not trying to look like Jesus. Like, this is just how I look,
dress,
you
yeah.
know? and then she starts, I can't tell if she's joking. I can't tell
Yeah.
if she's serious. And then she starts like dancing away slowly and then giving me the finger. And I'm just, and
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
Auntie Crystal is there and she's just like,
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
That's so
what
funny.
the fuck just happened? All my like, what the fuck moments were with Grandma.
Mine were too. Mine were too. Yeah,
I was
she's a
just like-
character.
Is there, so would you have done anything different for your wedding?
No, honestly. Like, I think we had the perfect amount of people. Like, we had less than 100 people. And, like, it was so nice to look in the crowd and to know everyone's face. Like, to know everyone and to see everyone, like, it was amazing. There wasn't anyone that I wish, like, was there. I think everyone that I wanted to be there was there.
That's cool.
No, honestly, I think I wouldn't have changed anything. My whole time I kept telling myself, like, I'm not gonna stress over little things. Like, who cares?
Yeah, and that's cool.
And everyone the whole day was like, you are the chillest bride. Like, my hair people, the makeup people are like, you are the chillest bride we've ever worked with. Like, they're like, you don't even look nervous. Like, and I just, like, all day kept telling myself, like, just enjoy the day, just have fun, and, like, who cares about it? Like, the little things don't matter. Like, they really don't.
That's such a good mindset to have into,
Yeah.
into going into that. I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a bride. So I
Yeah.
never will. It's just-
Yeah, you won't.
But it's like some people get so, and you know, the only thing I could kind of even relate it to is doing a show.
Yeah.
You know, because you're
'Cause
just
it's just a
doing something
production.
in front of
Yep.
somebody. You know, and because that's the approach I like to take. There's things that are gonna go wrong that are out of control.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be a bunch of people might cancel.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, who cares? The show still has to. You still have to do this one thing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's the most important.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like regardless of how everything, but the food was delicious.
Yeah, it was good. I wish I just wasn't hungry.
Yeah, and I
Like,
also
I was just too excited.
because
Like,
you know
all day.
I never had a cake pop.
See, and I didn't either. Mom got two from one of her friends because me and Jeremy had one. And then I was like, oh, you had one, didn't have one with me?
Damn.
He's like, I was going to get you, but you were dancing. And I was like, yeah, that's where I was the whole night.
You were going hard.
Yeah.
You were going hard. We'll play one of those other. We'll play some videos. We'll play some.
Yeah.
I'll throw clips up through this one.
Yeah, it was the best. It was perfect.
It was.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And you fucking Ella dancing on the dance. You see how hard
Oh,
they were
yeah.
going?
But everyone was. Like,
Yeah,
it was
that's
so
true.
nice. Like, in all the cousins, like, that's exactly how I pictured my wedding. Is like all of our cousins having fun. Because we haven't, like, got to do something like that in so long. Like, we
And
just
that's
because
what I
of
was thinking as well.
COVID and everyone's lives are busy and everyone's married with kids now and stuff. Like, just, it's busy. The world is busy. But it's just like we haven't all gotten together
Yeah,
and, like, had
true.
fun. And there was no problems.
Yeah. There's some drunk. I mean, I was one of them. There was some real. Even just thinking about it, I think. I was so hungover for days.
When you said that, I was too.
Oh.
Well, actually, no, I got sick after. I got like a really bad cold. So I wasn't hungover. I just was really sick.
Which would make sense that. I'm surprised I never got sick. I was days. I was like, man, because I was really hungover the next day,
Yeah.
super throwing up. But then the day after that, I was like, man, I still feel like shit. Like,
You talk about you're like, oh, I did a HIIT workout and I'm not out of shape. I do it all the time. I died. I was like, that's me.
oh, it was brutal. I had to stop I was doing a video too, because that's what on the days I really don't like to work out, I'll throw on
Oh, that's smart.
a HIIT workout, and then it's just fucking. Then I don't have to think about it.
Yeah. That's actually a good idea.
And there's so many good. I started training people online again, and there's so many good resources for people to do their cardio online for
Oh,
whatever
sure.
they like. Low impact injuries.
Yeah.
I might even start making some videos next year
Well, that's a good idea.
because I use them. I'm like, well, fuck. And even I was just in this one girl's Mindy. I can't remember what her name is, but I just did her. I found she's just a yoga person from here. And I was like, oh, I'll try your fucking cool down stretch thing. And it was sick. I was like, oh, these don't have to be fucking huge productions to be valuable.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I did like fucking 10 minutes of this thing. And I was like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Not of hers. Hers was nice and easy, but just the fucking other day. Yeah, no, that's sick.
Yeah.
What was that was a question I was thinking about when, because this dawned on me, I don't know, because I was there when Jeremy asked mom and dad to marry you, which was crazy. I was just fucking having a coffee or something. And he comes down the stairs, and you could tell he was a little nervous. And then he asked, and I was like, oh, shit! You know? I was like, what a bombshell, bro! But it was a little bit after that when I was like, oh, I never thought about being married until I was much older. Like, you know, maybe in my, like, I don't know, early 20s. I mean, I'm in my later 20s now, so it wasn't that long ago. But I'm like, you know, sometime in it was just never something I thought about. And I mean, it's the stereotypical thing for a girl to think about her wedding when she's little. And were you like that?
No, not really. I don't think so. Like, it's funny because I say that, but I had like my Pinterest board of my wedding before I even got engaged, before I was even with Jeremy.
What you
so
say?
It's like, but it wasn't until I got older that you get like excited about it. Like, I think I was maybe in high school when I started actually like thinking about marriage.
Oh, okay.
But like, if you were to ask me before I met Jeremy if I would have gotten married, I would have probably said no. Like, I didn't really think. I was like, whatever. Like, it's whatever. But I think it's all the cliches are so true.
Okay, like what? Like
what? When you meet the right person, you know. Like, it's so true.
And when did you feel that?
Right away.
Damn, you guys really did hit it off initially.
On our first date. Like, and I'm really shy. And so I was so nervous about this date because I hadn't really like went on lots of dates before because I dated the same guy for most of my high school. Wow. So I hadn't really went on dates before. So I was like freaking out and I almost didn't go. But my friends, even in their speech, they said that like we convinced her to go. They're like, oh, it's a free meal. Like, why are you making such a big deal about it? And I'm not that kind of girl. Wow. So I'm like, I don't care about the free meal. Like, I'm like, I don't want to go. And they're like, just go. And I'm like, okay, I'll go. So I did. And I'm like, I can't believe I almost didn't go. Like, we immediately hit it off.
That's crazy. Because, I mean, Jeremy is he's a dope dude.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy.
Our personalities just really mend together. Like, we're just really similar in the ways that matter and then different in ways that don't. And so it just, like, there's always.
Keeps things interesting.
Yeah.
Because people are either too much the same and then that gets boring.
Yeah.
Or they're too different and then it's
exactly.
It's enough. I mean, I don't talk about my own relationships too much because I'm not very good at them. But I've been in situations where it's been both. You know, it's like, oh, we're similar in the ways that don't matter and different in the ways that matter the most. You know, it's like, oh shit. So that's crazy. So then, how did it feel when you did get proposed to?
It was, I kind of knew it was happening. I just didn't know what was happening that day. Like, I knew he was going to propose to me one day, but I always thought he proposed to me at the lake because that was like our special place. But just like the way we were doing things, he just said he just wanted to do it. Like, he's like, so many people like make it so special, which it's special no matter what because of what they're doing. Yeah. But he knows I'm just like a simple. Like, I always say that I'm just a simple girl. Like, I don't like, if he would have done it in a restaurant or something, I would have lost my mind. Like, I probably would have said no. Like, you know, like, I don't.
Could you imagine? Nah, bro.
No. Like, I just don't like.
Get back up.
I just don't like being the center of attention. So whenever it can just be like chill, I like that.
Oh. So then how did it feel being the center of attention the day of?
See, and I thought I wasn't going to like it and I didn't mind it. Because it was like, it was about me and him, you know? Like a birthday is just about you, but a wedding is about you and them. So I kind of was like, okay, if everyone gives the center of attention to Jeremy, it's a little less on me.
That's fair.
Even
that's
though
fair.
everyone's
it's like an
like,
us thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, and it's arguably a little bit more about the bride.
Yeah.
It's so wild how it really is. It's just,
Honestly, yeah.
Things are really just, I don't know. It's just the way it is in our culture, I guess,
But again, I thought I would hate that the most. Like I thought I would really be nervous for that, but I wasn't. Like even walking down the aisle, like as soon as I got there and saw everyone, I was not nervous at all. Like the anticipation, like standing and waiting, that made me nervous. Like that was the only time I was nervous.
Just in the back before the thing.
Yeah,
came
like
up.
when I got in Dad's truck and we were driving to the venue, I was
got
like,
real.
my friends are like, you haven't said a word in like 10 minutes. I'm like, guys, I'm kind of nervous. Like, and then Dad played Luke Combs and so he's getting me all hyped. And so I was excited, but that's when it hit me. Is like, oh gosh, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
But then after that, I was fine.
That's wild. Because, I mean, what a crazy... It was so much fun, It was such a fun day. It was so nice. Everyone was in such a good mood.
Yeah.
Damn, well, I'm glad you had a good experience. I'm glad you had just as good of an experience as I had.
But that's my biggest advice to anyone getting married. Not that I'm really the expert at it, but honestly, enjoy your date. Like, everything else does not matter. Little things don't matter. Who cares? Just enjoy your day because it goes by real quick. Like, I wish I could relive it because it was like the best day ever, but it goes by so fast. And no one thinks about like small things. You notice the small things, your guests don't.
Yeah, that's always what it is too. And I guess I could just relate. It's just like when a artist messes up words or something on stage. Unless you have a die-hard fan there, no one fucking
cares.
gives a shit. They like that you're there. That's the whole.
Yeah.
And I think people just get. This is very on brand for the podcast. Look at that, the stoicism from Faith right there. It's like, it's like so many people forget what the thing is about.
Yeah.
And it's literally about you two getting married.
Getting married, yeah.
Everything else is extra, know? It's like once there's the kiss and the I do's and the paperwork, it's like that's what a wedding is, you know? It's just like everything else is just so, because it's the amount of debt people go in for.
Oh, I know. Yep. That's not worth it to me. Like don't have a wedding then.
Yeah, and if you want to do something that extravagant, then just
save up.
Wait for it. It's like, why? But I mean, to each their own.
It's just because people get stuck in like how society views them. It's like, who cares? Like me and Jeremy had a long engagement. Like people frown upon that. Like we were engaged 2 years before we got married.
And that's considered long?
Very long. You get engaged, you get married within a year usually.
That's crazy. I've heard some people talk about what they do in Jewish people are just so interesting.
I 100% agree. So interesting.
And so I don't know, just with the whole you getting married and stuff, has made me curious about just weddings in general, especially when I was doing the research for like how to do the ceremony and stuff. There was just videos on how to run different types of ceremonies and it's like, holy shit, there's a lot. Weddings is a pretty broad term for what happens, you know? And in the Jewish, I don't know what's it called when they're like separated? Like, there's like Catholicism and Roman Catholic and denomination, yeah. I couldn't think of the word. I don't know what denomination of Judaism it is this guy was speaking about, but he was talking about so they I think it was within 6 months of meeting his now wife, they met and they were married.
I bet that's Orthodox.
Because he's like super traditional.
That's probably Orthodox.
And so when he signed, in that type of Judaism, the husband has to sign a document saying, if we get a divorce, I will pay her this much money.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were asking him about it. They're like, is this always happening? He's like, it always happens. And he's like, wow. Is it always the man to the woman? He's like, always the man to the woman. And so they're like, how much?
Yeah.
And because he's doing it with his father-in-law. And he said he said $1 million. He said $1 million. Like the guy signing, he's like, I'll give her $1 million. And the father laughs. And he said, she's not worth that much. And so then,
That would be dad.
So then he wrote, I think, $10 million. He's super rich, but I was like, holy fuck, like, because they were talking about prenups, and they were
Yeah.
talking about like how it's a frowned upon thing in society and whatever,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, he's like, from the Jewish standpoint, it's
Tradition.
a part of it. It's like
Yeah.
it's not even controversial. It's like, I'll keep my stuff, but here, this is
Yeah.
what I'll give you, And I was like, oh, I was just
That's
like,
wild.
that's what I thought. I was like, this
That's
is just
interesting.
a fucking crazy thing to do. So it's just like all the stuff with the weddings made me think about
Prenups.
not prenup. Well, actually, talk about prenups. Do you know who Lex Friedman is?
Yeah.
So he had a lawyer on, a divorce lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
which was, I haven't watched the whole thing, but there was like a longer clip that I watched, like 10 minutes, and he was talking about divorce. And he was talking about what makes, in his opinion, what makes a sustainable relationship.
Well, that's
And I was
interesting.
like, damn, that's an interesting
Yeah.
guy. Because the one thing he said, he's like, I'll always have work. He's like, people will always separate,
Yeah.
But he's like, what makes a relationship work? He's like, it's always the intent of two people. He's like,
Mhm.
it seems like it's just over time, some people become resentful. And he's like, as soon as resent starts to happen,
Right.
then it's just a matter of time.
Mhm.
And then he was talking about how he's like, I've seen, people date for 10 years, get married, get divorced the next year.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I've seen people have a mistress, marry their mistress, and then stay with them until they die. He's like, soulmates and stuff. He's like, that's a hard word for me to understand, because he's like, because he was talking about the controversy of all the different ways people get married and find
Yeah.
each other, and he's just like, it's like some ways work and some ways don't. And
Yeah.
he's like, there's never, it's like with all of these people and all that I've worked with, he's like, it's always something different.
That's wild.
And I was just like, damn. But he's just like two people, because he talks about his own divorce, and which was interesting, because he was like, me and my wife were with a couple, and we all took our kids to some kind of amusement park, and we were like, okay, we'll take them, you guys go take a little break, like go walk around or whatever. And he said as soon as they left, they went and they held hands and they walked off together. And he's like, in that moment, I knew I was going to divorce my wife, because we would have never held hands. We would have never walked away like that couple did.
Wow.
And he's like, when we ended up separating years later, he's like, my wife thought the exact same thing then. He's like, I told her that, and she's like, I thought the same thing.
That's wild.
And I was like, damn.
That's sad.
But it's just the reality of things.
It is true. That is true.
And that's why, talk about all that divorce after we talk about marriage. Circling
just
back
got
on
married.
a positive note, it sounds like you guys are so much better. Like, it's like you guys,
Yeah.
that must be crazy to make that commitment to somebody,
Yeah. It's weird because it's like when you're with someone and you just know it doesn't really feel like that big of a deal.
That's crazy. And even what you were saying before about when you moved in together,
Mm-hmm.
how that felt more like, marriage. That's probably exactly why in a lot of religions you're not allowed to move in together before.
Oh, I understand, because it's like, well, you have to make commitments to, it's like, and like we both work our own jobs, but it's like we both share on everything. Like you have to.
Yeah.
Like it just that's honestly marriage right there. I'm like, we don't even
What?
need the rings. Like you have to figure things out. But I do understand why legally people get married. It just is easier to do things. Like unless you're common law, which we're not technically common law
'Cause
yet.
you haven't even been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult to get to do things together if you're not common law, if you're not married.
Oh, interesting.
And just like the societal view of like you being married, like as soon as I say my husband now, like people opinions change, which is sad to
Which
even
is
be like
interesting,
that.
too, which is
It shouldn't even
it
be
is-
like
it
that.
is
Doesn't
interesting,
matter,
too.
but yeah,
Damn. So do you like the title of wife?
I do. Yeah, I do like wife.
Look at that smile.
But you know what a kid told me? You know, and this is so, it's actually messed up that he said this, but it was funny when he said it to me.
What are you gonna say?
Kids say the darndest things, truly. He came up to me after I got married, because the kids all know at school that I got married. And so he came up to me and he said, "Why did you take your husband's last name?" And I said, "Oh, it's just something you do, like when you get married." I wanted his last name, right? And he was like, "Well, your personality is going to change now that you have his last name." Which is so, I laughed because I was like, "It's funny that you would say that." And like, that's so rude to say. But I'm like, that's sad that you think that. Like an 8-year-old's mind immediately went to that. That like broke my heart.
And I wonder where they would get that from.
And to me, it kind of was interesting because I would assume a girl would say that. Like a girl, that sounds like something a girl might say.
Almost like a
Like a-
extreme feminist point
Right.
of view.
Yeah. Like, but like a boy to say that, I was just thought it was so interesting.
That is wild, actually.
And then it kind of made me sad when I was
It kind of.
pondering on it afterwards, and I
But
was like,
it's like-
"That's so sad."
And then that also goes to, I mean, you being a elementary school teacher. For those who don't know,
Mhm.
how much can you take from a kid too, and then you just gotta brush it off because it's like it is just a developing mind saying some.
No, but I always like when my kids are curious about something, I try to answer it the realest I can. Because I view, like, I'm not their parents, and I know there's certain things I can't say, which I always like dance around if I can't. I'll say, that's something that like you can ask your parents at home. But I really try to be honest with them because a lot of their parents don't know, and they will say, ask your teachers, like a lot.
Oh.
Like, I didn't know this last night. My mom asked me to ask you. And so then I'm like, okay, if your parents told, then I can be honest. But I always view myself, and this sounds bad, but I view myself as a role model to them in all sense. Like everything that I do, I try to be authentic, but also real with my students. Like, because I know that they view me as another person, an adult to them.
Yeah. I don't think
Right?
that's a bad thing to have. I think that's the proper thing to have because it's.
Well, it just makes me sound like I have an ego, which I don't think I
I
don't.
think so. It's like you're a teacher to developing
Yeah.
minds. You're literally influencing,
For sure.
and especially them being so young.
Yeah.
You're absolutely they spend more time with you during the week
Yeah.
than their
Home
families.
parents, yeah. So I try to be like, but be the realest version of myself that's appropriate. But like talking to kids about fitness and eating healthy and like how I work out every day, and they're like, "What? Like you work out every day?" Like I'm like, "Yeah, every morning I'm up at 5 a.m. And like when they look at my lunches, they see like a healthy lunch and like, but I'm like, but you guys know that I like treats, but I just like I don't eat them every day because it doesn't make my body feel good, right?" And we talk about like good fuel and bad fuel and like
See,
that
and
kind of
that's
stuff.
because it's like think about how, and I'm not dissing teachers here. I'm not trying to turn this into a bashing session on teachers, but just the amount of influence that will have on them,
Yeah.
as opposed to a teacher that just shovels in garbage all day.
Mhm.
You know, which teachers are just people, and most people have
It's-
poor
yeah.
diets.
For sure.
You know,
yeah.
and I've trained tons of teachers. I know, you know. I just trained lots of people. I know, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's so beneficial to I think to have that. And that was another question I was going to ask you too. Speaking, this is your second year now as a teacher. What would you say is just generally speaking, I guess like from your own point, what do you think is the thing that's missing from schools the most?
Missing? Support.
Support.
It's just
Damn, and I've heard that. I've heard that from veteran teachers.
Yeah.
People that are retired.
Yeah, it's a hard job. Like it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. Like I think when you're in your practicum is when it like hits you like, wow, this is not easy. Like it's a hard job. It's mentally, physical, like it's everything. Like it's a hard, especially mentally. It's very mentally draining. Especially when you teach littles, like it's exhausting.
For sure.
Like it's lots.
For sure.
But it's also really rewarding, and it's the best job personally. Like, it's just when those kids get these spark in their eyes and when they're laughing at my dumb jokes, like all of it's worth, like you just see that it's worth it. But
Sick.
but the
Sick.
support is hard. Like, it's just, but it's just sad because education is all politics, and you talk to any teacher and that's what it is. And so it's hard when it's like that. Like, our curriculum is made by the government, so it immediately is politics. And so it's like there's certain things that I might not agree with that's in the curriculum, but I'm legally obligated to teach it. And I'm bound to the curriculum. So it's just like, it's hard. And then it's hard when the curriculum is beyond where our kids are at, and then you're legally obligated to still teach that. So it's
And that's it's it reminds me of a story. I went to a comedy show I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
And I brought a date, and
ooh.
but it's an important part of the story. So we're chilling, whatever, and a friend of mine was there giving away product, giving away weed.
Oh, okay.
You know, it was it's a cannabis club, and I haven't seen this guy. It was like an intermission, and she needed to go to the bathroom, so I brought her to the bathroom, and I was catching up with my homie, and he was telling me about his little girl going to starting school. And I was like, oh, cool. And then my date comes, and she has kids, so I was like, oh, I can make this.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
Kind of
oh,
include everyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, oh, he was just telling me about his kid starting school. She's like, oh, that's so cute. And then he instantly goes, and he's like, yeah, but I had to remind her that family's first, and that the school system's a slow indoctrination system, and that your teachers and your friends might come and go, but family is forever, and that, you know, you need to prioritize. And I'm sitting there like, bro, what the fuck? Because he's like a conspiracy guy. He's like an anti-government, off the grid. But I was like, bro, what kind of conversation should I turn? I was like, oh yeah, bro, we'll catch up with you later.
Your date's eyes are just like,
I was like, bruh, it ain't usually like that.
But that's funny because the parents like that are the kids that always are the ones that say stuff to their teacher that you're like, your parents taught you that.
Sure.
Like, they come out with these far-fetched things. I'm like, where did you learn that? Like,
I couldn't imagine what that kid must say to his
kindergarten. Not much yet.
I guess they just don't have a good enough grasp of.
No, they don't understand. They're too little.
Damn. And so, that being said, as a teacher, what do you? Okay, I got a couple more. We've been crushing this podcast. Almost 90. They go by pretty fast.
They do. They really do. Yeah.
It's easy to get into the conversation, and then well, I haven't had anyone. Thank you for doing this.
Of course.
And being good. I haven't had anyone that sucks yet, so I don't really know what that's like.
That is
know.
True. Good point.
What was I gonna say now? Oh, so yeah. So going back to being married, do you want kids?
See, and this is the thing. Being a teacher, I wanted kids really bad, and then I started teaching, and I was like, wow, I need to hold off. Like, I need a bit, because it's again, like you said, I'm with people's kids more than they're with their own kids, and so the thought of like their teacher being with them more than I'm with them, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
You're jealous.
Well, but it's hard. It's like I said, it's exhausting. Like, at the end of the day, I have the energy to cook a meal, clean my house, and go to bed. Like, I am a zombie at the end of the day. But again, I'm still getting like, it's the first 5 years of teaching is like survival mode.
Jesus.
Well, it's true because everything is new. Like, I'm in my second year and everything is still new. Like, I'm like, I only have 1 year experience with this certain thing, you know? And every batch of kid is different. Every child is different. So you're constantly on your feet, like with new challenges, new things, like, you know? And so it's just survival every day. It's just like, how am I going to like run my classroom today, you know? And some days are better than others, but it's exhausting no matter. Good days, bad days, it's still the same amount of exhaustion every day.
Yeah, obviously. It's just so much. it's just so much stimulus. There's
Oh,
so
for
many.
sure.
You're sitting how big's your class right now?
I have a small class. I have 21 kids, and that's extremely small.
That's extremely small.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, no, I don't want to hear my name. Like, I don't want to hear my
course.
name. I don't want anyone to talk to me. I don't want anyone to need me. It sounds bad, but it's like the things I do, I feel like make me able to do my job the next day.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like if I come home, cook dinner, and then veg out all night, who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know, I still worked out in the morning. I still did this and that, like, you know.
Oh yeah, of course.
But to answer your question, not at the moment, no. No.
That's fair. I couldn't imagine, especially because the last couple of girls I've seen, they've had kids,
Yeah.
and it's like they tell me about, and then even just my homies that have
Mhm.
kids and whatever. And yes, I understand that there's the love aspect. They love their children
Yeah.
so much. I get.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't get that. I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
But I understand that that's the upside
Mm-hmm.
of the whole thing. But the amount of times they have to be dealing with shit.
Oh, I know.
And I often, one of the biggest things that prevents me is changing babies' diapers.
That's so small. That's small.
But that's right out the gates. That's right at the
No,
gates.
I'm like worried about like messing the kid up, like in the head, you know? Like you got to just be very careful with the way that you parent because of just the research. And I think that's like my psychology background always comes out, right? I think of like
Because all this
Sigmund
stuff
Freud and all this stuff, and I'm just like,
yeah.
if you're a bad mom, you might have a sexual desires to sleep with your mom because that's Sigmund Freud. You know, like all this stuff. So it's just like you got to think about those things.
Yeah, everything. Because that's the. Who just said that? What was I just watching? Well, they were saying that there gets to be a point where there's too much information about things.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
you know, people have been raising babies.
Yeah, I think Jordan Peterson said that.
Oh, maybe.
I think
yeah,
so.
You know, and it's just like, yeah, it's good to, because I mean, I've read so many books on psychology, and it all links back to childhood. Obviously,
Sure.
other
Yeah.
traumas in life and
Mhm.
experiences, but so much of who you are stems with how you deal with whatever happened to you as a child. And yeah, that must be fucking terrifying. But then
Yeah.
there's the whole, you know, ignorance is bliss. You know, how many people have children and have no idea about the psychology of a
Yeah.
baby? You
Yeah.
know, their own psychology even,
Yeah.
you know? And so I think it's crazy. I couldn't imagine. I'm 5 years older than you, and I still can't imagine having a child right now.
Yeah, I just really thought that we would get married and then I would want kids right away. And I always said that to Jeremy that I would want that. But now I'm just like, well, I want a house first and I want to be more stable in my career and I want this, like I want to travel more. And so it's just like
That's cool.
having a child in your like early 30s, late 20s is like more realistic in my mind.
Yeah.
But it's also just where we are in our life. Like I'm just, not to toot my own horn, but me and Jeremy are just successful for our age. Like we just both are, and we're just enjoying this part of life. Like I want to enjoy being married, and like that's just what we are like. Like we enjoyed being engaged. Now I want to enjoy being married before we start something else.
That's cool. That's such a, I feel like, a healthy thing to do.
Yeah.
People are so eager to
rush. Yeah.
Even, and again, I still consider myself so young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, people always like, there's that whole thing about turning 30. People are so I'm like, what are you guys fucking talking about?
You have forever.
It's like, man, they say the average person now is going to live to 120.
Yeah.
You know, and especially, not to toot our own horns here, but we take pretty good care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we eat well. I fucking am so hardcore into this longevity book. It's so good. Not to change the topic, but do you know what LDL and HDL is? The cholesterol?
No.
Okay, I won't get too much into this then.
I thought you were talking about the religion. What is it? LDS?
Oh, yeah.
Latter-day Saints?
Latter-day
That's what you're talking about. I was like, what, you're on Latter-day Saints?
No, I'm talking about cholesterol.
That's hilarious.
It's good and bad cholesterol.
Oh, yeah, I know that term.
Yeah, so good and bad.
Yeah.
So LDL and HDL.
Okay, yeah.
And I just, in this book, so I've always known about that. But in this book, it breaks down. This is getting boring. I try never to go into the biology stuff about, but I just found out what those two things actually were. because I'm a personal trainer. I'm not a doctor.
Right, yeah.
So it's just
Or a
like,
nutritionist.
or a nutritionist. So I only have broad ideas of everything, but in this book they break down. There's really no good and bad cholesterol. It's just how those components act. And LDL and HDL. I know this isn't interesting, but I'm getting the point out because I just learned it yesterday. LDL stands for low density lipoprotein, and then HDL stands for high density lipoprotein. Because what cholesterol is, it's a it's a it's a it's a protein membrane, and lipoprotein, lipo meaning fat, protein meaning protein. LDL, low density lipoprotein, means that there's less protein and more, hold on, yeah. So in this one, oh no, those are arteries. That's not what I wanted to show. I wanted to show that. See, and that's what's so interesting is they label these as good and bad, but that's not exactly what it means. I'm not gonna get too much into this. This is boring. I'm not gonna go too heavy into this. I just finally learned what LDL and HDL was and is. This book.
What is it called? I didn't get to read it, but
I think I sent you this dude's podcast too.
oh yeah.
If you don't read the book, it's called Outlive: The Science and Art of Longevity. This book is crazy because it's all the modern research about how people die, and his main thing is that there's this new thing, medicine 3.0, because there's medicine 1.0 where they start to develop like germ theory, like, you know, when germs were invented, they're like, oh shit, wash your hands.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's medicine 2.0 when they start having more like medicine, proper medicine, like prescriptions, and you know, so obviously germ theory was a huge thing when they're like, oh shit, if we cut people open, we should probably wash our hands and the equipment first, you know. And germ theory,
that's wild to think about that. Like, obviously people had to know that, like they had to learn that, but it's like crazy to think about all the way back that was a thing.
1860s,
which I feel like is not
very far.
Yeah, like that. People were washing their hands before that. That's disgusting.
Yeah, they just didn't know. They just didn't know that that there was germs. And why would you if you didn't look?
Yeah, that is
you
true.
know, it's like, what was killing this person after surgery? Probably ghost. I don't know. You know, God, and
God just wanted them gone. That's so interesting.
Yeah, so that was like the medicine 1.0. And then medicine 2.0 is the introduction of medicines, and which is very helpful, but not to a lot of things, because what this guy's argument pretty much is, man, this mic just keeps fucking swinging. What this guy's argument basically is that we need to start putting in way more measures for prevention. Like, you know, heart attacks, yes, a very small chance of them, a percentage of them happen randomly to really healthy people.
Right.
It's just going to happen. Same thing with cancer. And he talks about the 4 horsemen, which is like Alzheimer's and
MS?
Cardiac. MS would fall into
that.
And then, actually, I could probably just look this up real quick. Death. Fuck.
Why is there so many of them?
Because there's like the biblical 4 horsemen.
Oh, I see.
Conquest, war, famine, and death, you know? And so it's like his 4 horsemen. Oh, yeah. Heart disease, cancer, neurodegenerative disease, and type 2 diabetes. And so his whole argument is these are all usually related to metabolic functions. So like what you eat and how your stomach works. And where was I going with this huge point now? 4 horsemen, heart disease. Oh, basically prevention. He's just like, you know, if you're going to have a heart attack and all these things, he's like, you can start doing things way earlier in your life to prevent them.
Right.
You know, because everyone's going to die. Everyone towards the end of your life, great. We're talking about divorce. Now we're talking about death.
Yeah. Start positive, go back to negative.
But, you know, what happens is with most people, you know, as they age, so you're healthy, you're fine.
Mhm.
Then as you age, you slowly, for a long time, your health starts to degenerate and then
Right.
you die. What medicine 3.0 is going to do is you're going to have a much longer curve, much higher curve, and then it'll just be a sharper dip at the very end. Because you're going to die.
Right, just not suffering phase.
Yeah, you know, or at least as short as possible,
Mhm.
you know? And that's what's cool about this book. It's just like the most modern science on, and then he throws in like his 2 cents because he was a I think a cardiac surgeon, or he was a brain surgeon, one of them. And he talks about the first time he did surgery in it, and he's
I
like,
read this. This is
it's
up my alley.
it's a
That's
pretty.
interesting.
It gets pretty sciencey. Obviously, there's even some parts of the science where I'm like, this is, I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
But he does such a good time, a good. He's such a good storyteller, and even honestly, if you just look up some, because I think he just is on Andrew Huberman.
Ooh, that would be good to watch
Yeah,
him
so
on that.
honestly, if you watch one of those things, they talk about all the big things so well that I mean, you should still read the book and support the dude. But he's a doctor. I'm sure he's doing fine. I think it costs $100,000 a year to work with him.
Wow.
But he does the stuff that he does. I mean, he's gonna help you live longer.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
so
I would
worth
if
it.
I had the money, of course. Why
Wow,
wouldn't
that's
you?
insane.
Yeah,
Dude's making bank.
that's crazy. Okay, but to end, we've been going for a while. This might be the longest podcast, Vic. I feel like I could keep asking you stuff. How you feeling?
Yeah, I just need to go to the bathroom.
Oh.
I feel like Joe Rogan. He always has to pee.
Okay, I'll ask you one more thing and then we'll
Okay.
wrap this up. Just because we do, you know, shout out PPM, Better Art, Healthier People. You do keep yourself pretty fit. You do eat pretty healthy.
Mhm.
So even I think when I brought Brandon on here, I was talking about his kind of morning routine.
Yeah.
Not that I'm glorifying morning routines. A lot of people are like, you don't need a morning routine in order for your day to affect it. Blah 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 blah. Shut up. Whatever. To each their own. As long as you're being productive. Yeah. Run us through your morning because it's pretty hectic.
Yeah, it is. So, we wake up at 5 in the morning. And so I fast now because I don't have time to eat breakfast. So it's like the perfect thing. So I just fast. But I wake up at 5. I'm at the gym by 5:30 every morning, and then I work out for an hour, come home, get ready.
So do you have a coffee before you leave?
I have an energy drink. Yeah. So yeah, energy drinks are my thing. Because pre-workout gets me too jittery for the day. So I have an energy drink, and then I go to the gym. I do my morning gym routine. I try to go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. That's like my big thing. And then the weekends is when I normally like do some sort of cardio. Like me and Jeremy will go on runs or that kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
Like we live in a really nice community, so we like going on walks and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I get home, get ready for school. We meal prep like crazy. So
sick.
our fridge, if you open our fridge door, it's like all containers.
And how are you? So you fast until what? Lunch?
Yeah.
Typically?
Yeah.
Even on the weekends or
Not on the
Monday through
weekend.
Friday?
Yeah.
It kind of depends.
Kind of depends on what we're doing, but mostly I usually do because we normally go grocery shopping in the morning, and then I just end up not really thinking about food until the afternoon.
Nice. And
Yeah.
even for your workouts, you're doing like a split routine still?
Yeah.
Like you're doing like arms,
Yeah.
legs,
Yeah.
upper body. Oh,
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
And what's your eating like? You're eating mostly just meat and veggies and some carbs?
And some carbs, yeah. Yeah, we eat decently healthy because we both we just don't like junk. Like we have junk in our house and it never gets eaten. I throw it all away.
Damn, that's so good.
So we just don't really buy it. Like we just eat normal like meat, vegetables, and some sort of carb for dinner. I love cooking. Like moving out made me love cooking more. And I
Oh,
thought it wouldn't.
interesting.
I thought it wouldn't because I'd have to do it every day. Sorry.
I don't know.
But it made me love it more. Like it's the highlight of my day every day.
Damn, going home and cooking dinner?
Yeah, I find it very relaxing because like Jeremy hasn't come home from work usually yet. So he'll go work out after work. So then I'm alone at home. I come home, decompress for a bit, and then I start cooking, and it's like I find like I'm so much happier.
So he trains after work. You train before, he trains after?
Because he works overtime, so he usually starts work at 5:30 every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. That's good. Well, I'm happy to hear that things are going well. You like
Yeah.
being married, it sounds like.
I do. Yep.
It was fun.
So far.
So far, it has only
It's
been
only been a week.
a week and
Yeah.
3 days
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm glad that it was fun. Your wedding was so much fun. You know, you're doing some cool things. You're a teacher to young minds.
Yeah.
You're a health queen. You're a fit queen.
I don't like the girls that are like that, so I don't associate me
fair.
with them.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I do thank you for coming on the podcast. This was a long one. This was good. I feel like we could keep talking.
Oh, honestly,
But it's what do you think about being on it?
it was really fun. It was really fun.
It's a good time. I can't wait to keep doing this. Hopefully.
Lots less stressful than you think it's going to be. Sorry to cut you
Oh
off.
no. Yeah, because it really is just a conversation,
Yeah.
you know. Fuck it. We covered the gambit from marriage to death. What
Yeah,
really more is
honestly.
there in life?
And we talked about kids, so we really talked about the whole spectrum.
We did.
Yeah.
Did. Taylor Swift, even
Yeah.
current events.
And
We
that's
covered it
so
all.
funny that you wanted to talk about that because I told Jeremy, I said, I want to ask my brother about Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things I think are the most interesting.
That's funny.
I think people's love for Taylor. We're not gonna get into Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Yet. We talked about her enough. She gets enough publicity.
Yeah, honestly.
Listen to my
Yeah.
music. Yes. Donate to this fund.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks, Faith. Yeah. Hopefully you have a great marriage. Hopefully, you have to come back and do the podcast another time. Maybe we'll bring on the husband too.
Yeah.
We'll see.
He'd like that.
Would he?
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Way more than I. Yeah, he'd love that.
Way more than what? Than you?
Well, no, I'm just
No,
saying,
that's
like,
like-
he would love.
Oh,
He loves to
let's
talk.
do it. Let's do it. All right. Any last thoughts for the people, Faith?
No, I think I spilled my guts.
You did. You gave some nice marriage advice earlier. All right. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much again for doing this. Thank you everyone out there for listening. This has been A Moment with Jay.
Time to.
I hope you know, with every darker night, there's a brighter day. Through the chaos, we'll be okay. Sending nothing but positive vibes your way. Love for always. Jay.